You're listening to the Cricket Podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Cricket Podcast for the big quiz of 2024, coming to you only 26 days late. I'm Jack Hope. I'm joined by Ross Legg and Max Rowe Brown, who will be facing off once more for the title. We should actually name the title, the quiz title, the quiz champion. Ross, are you excited to be quiz champion maybe again? Maybe reclaim your belt?
Yeah, it's always quite a fun episode to do, really. And on this unbelievably gloomy January Sunday, this is a nice way to spend it. So Max was a valiant opposition last year and took the title home for, the first time?
Yeah, I think so.
So,
yeah.
Late
Max,
bloomer, they call that.
Are you excited to maybe win 2 years in a row? Make it 4-2?
I don't know. I fear the weight of expectation will, sit heavily on my shoulders, and the pressure could get to me.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Possibly. This is how it's going to go. We are going to do a quiz about all the cricket which happened in 2024, roughly in chronological terms. It's chronological for about the first 8 questions, then I started to get a bit bored of chronology. So it does.
Got a wild card round.
It's not chronological at all because the first category is Pakistan, and Pakistan as a cricketing entity, they're anything but chronological, aren't they? So if you're at home, play along, listen along, do whatever you want to do along, as long as it's along. That'd be great. Make sure you click like and subscribe on whatever platform you're listening on. And leave us a comment if you are on YouTube. Boys, are you ready to quiz?
I think so.
Ready.
So.
Yeah. I'm ready.
Oh, the enthusiasm. It's coming through so clearly.
It's game time, isn't it? You don't want to be shouting down the mic at people. I want to be collecting my inner thoughts like Babar Azam at the crease. That's what I want to be doing.
Fair enough. We're going to start with the traditional 3 questions, or 4 questions to begin each annual quiz. I need a brief summary of the year from each of you. I need who your player of the year in 2024 was, what your moment of 2024 was, and what your top controversy of 2024 was. 1 point for each of those. Max, as the usual summariser for TCP, you get to go first. Can you summarise 2024 in cricket? And let's try and keep this relatively brief. So between 10 and 30 seconds.
If I would summarise it, it was probably breaking it into 2 halves. The first half was 2020 cricket, and it was 2020 cricket, and it was wall-to-wall 2020 cricket. Some of it was really good, some of it was really bad, and by June, I'd had enough. I think we'd all had enough, but that's fine because that gave way to the crescendo of the Test summer, where we saw all sorts of hijinks going on. We saw India losing their home record. We saw England managing to pick whoever they could find from the tall man parade. And then we got to round it all off with a nice, exciting BGT, and it gave a sense of realism back to the world of cricket. After all the slap and tickle and the nonsense of the white ball stuff, we got back to the real brass tacks. We found out who we'll be seeing at Lords in the final of the World Test Championship, and now I'm ready again for T20 cricket. We've come back round, and that's a nice bit of closure for the year.
I have to say, I'm not happy with the phrase "slap and tickle" being used in this podcast. I'm not sure we can get away with that. Ross, it could be an open goal. What happened in 2024?
I think Max is completely wrong. I think T20 was almost an irrelevance in 2024. It was the year of Test cricket. Test cricket came back. It was a booming renaissance with unbelievably close games, upsets, and attributes being picked over averages, and the ensuing results showing that really nobody truly knows what's going on other than Pat Cummins. So overall, I think this is another year of success for cricket's existential crisis of lurching from one disaster to another, with Test cricket making sure that the slap and tickle of T20 cricket was firmly put in the rearview mirror.
I think you'd have won that without the use of slap and tickle, but I'm going to give you 0 points each for that.
Here we go
on the
Bring
cricket podcast.
Ross, you go first. Clean sheet 0-0 quiz.
Who's your player of 2024 and why?
To me there, Jack.
Yes, yeah. That is your name,
I'm
isn't
gonna,
it, Ross?
yeah, I'm going to go for Sunil Narayan. Sunil Narayan is his spirit animal is a rock, I think, in terms of his movement ability, and he managed to roll back the years, much like Test cricket had, and fire Kolkata Knight Riders to the IPL title with what was an astounding run of batting form, and obviously the chucker doesn't chuck it kind of thing, bowling, winning so many games for the KKR. So just because of a single action like that, that is my player of the year.
Okay, not bad. I realised halfway through that answer that I had my microphone the wrong way round for the first 5 minutes of this podcast, and I've got a cold, so people probably got no idea what the pair of you have been talking about over the beginning of this pod. Good start by us, Max.
Well, we heard
your
the
player?
questions.
Yeah,
Okay,
people just might
yeah,
think
I
like
suppose,
living
yeah.
like an aquarium. So
My player of 2024, Jack. I'm afraid I'm just going to have to go straight down the middle on this one. Nothing fancy, no hijinks. I'm just going to go for Jasprit Bumrah because he took more wickets than anyone else in the T20 World Cup, in Test cricket. It's boring, yes, Ross, but the guy is so good. I can't give it to anyone else. I'd like to not do the boring thing. I'd like to give it to someone different and come up with some esoteric reason as to why they are actually the best player of 2024. But he's so far ahead from everyone else that it just has to be Jasprit Bumrah, doesn't it? He's destroyed everything in his path, and he will continue to do so as long as he stays fit.
I think that's an easy win for Max. I'd have accepted Pat Cummins as an alternate answer, but not Narayan, unfortunately.
and that's the problem with you two. You're both like establishment cricket. That is the problem. The more this podcast has gone on, the more we recognise that you're just the same as everybody else, lads.
If I could dock you a point for that
Ross
outburst, I would.
representing
That'd be
the
one
populist side of the game.
Yeah, one demerit point for Ross there.
How many demerit points do you need before you're banned from a quiz?
That's one way out of it. Max, what was your moment of 2024 and why?
I don't think I can look past Ollie Pope's 196 in Hyderabad because it was just so unexpected. And that's what we want from moments, isn't it? Things that happen that have no right to ever happen. And one of those things is Ollie Pope going to India, taking England from a 150 run deficit, whatever it was, turning things around with a ridiculous innings involving tapping Ravi Jadeja over his head, back over his own head for 4 on his knees and all sorts of just bizarre shots. It was insane, and it was an amazing way to start that year of Test cricket off and that series off. It's a shame he wasn't able to do anything else for the rest of the series and prove that reversion to the mean is a thing. But at the time, it was unforgettable. So I'm going to go with that.
Ross, he's gone big there. How are you going to respond?
I think there's only one moment for me that stands out, and that is in the T20 World Cup, Afghanistan employing some shithousery tactics and Gulbuddin Naib going down as if he'd been shot by a sniper as Jonathan Trott from the sideline signalled to make sure that they could slow the game down, and he was writhing on the floor in unimaginable pain, and then miraculously made a recovery to carry on playing. So that was my moment of 2024.
Yeah, Roth has nailed that, I think. You got to remember, Max, who the quiz master is. I'm always going to go with controversy, fights, and general chicanery.
I'm giving Ross the point too. It was just that's fine.
It was amazing. It was
incredible.
1-1. So to end round one, Ross, what was your top controversial moment of 2024 and why?
Quite possibly when Pakistan got out the big fans for the pitch, and that was all that was talked about for a couple of days, as they pretty much spin to win against England. And so nothing is going to hold me back from that shithousery from the groundsman. And well done, Pakistan.
It's a strong one there, mate. It's a strong start.
Yeah.
Can you top it?
It's an exercise of thinking on my toes here because that was my answer. So we're gonna pivot and we're gonna go back to the World Cup, and it's a similar theme with pitches, but that drop-in pitch that we saw in America that resulted in scores of 70 all out off 16 overs, looking like a challenging target in the World Cup. A lesson in how not to prepare a wicket. Turns out trying to ship however many tons of soil from Adelaide to America doesn't work. And I mean, it made for a spectacle, but it really did make cricket look like a bit of a joke in a country where they were trying to expand the game. So bit of a faux pas, and it was funny. So I'll go with that.
Yeah, it's not a bad answer. Thinking on your feet, but I'm going to go with Ross. I like how Pakistan followed it up. I mean, obviously this is 2025 now, but for the recent series, they constructed a greenhouse over the pitch. Not just content with giant fans playing on a 10th day wicket. They built a greenhouse.
There was some tomatoes going, didn't they? Yeah.
Yeah. After round one, Ross, you hold a 2-1 lead. And now we move on to the Pakistan round. Max.
Yeah.
Who did Pakistan fire as their head of selectors this year?
Oh God, they fired so many people. Yeah. Ramiz Raja?
No, not Ramiz Raja. I'm sure he's had a go. I'm not in recent memory though. Ross, I don't know if you can steal here. You are normally Pakistan correspondent for the pod.
Would it be the main man, Misbah or Huck? Was he one of them?
It's not. No,
Oh.
no, that's a 0-0. Poor effort from both of you. It was Wahab Riaz. He got the job in November last year after the last ODI World Cup, and then lost it after the first white ball tournament that he oversaw. They now have a 5-man panel. If we exclude the coach, can you name, Ross, this question is for you, can you name any of the other selectors?
Alim Dar, the umpire.
Alim Dar is one. Yeah. So that's a point for Ross. 3-1 lead. We've also got Asad Shafiq, Azhar Ali, and Hassan Keema. So, yeah. Nice. We've seen a nice roundabout of change in the Pakistan think tank over the last 12 months, and long may that continue. It looks like they're going to lose to the West Indies in the Test match that's going on at the moment. So surely that's the captain that gets fired. I mean, I can't see the captain not being fired after that. And whoever comes in, like, they're very short lifespan. I'd have thought as well. Final question on Pakistan. Can you name who their head coach is? And whoever gets it first wins on this one.
Jason Gillespie.
It's not Jason Gillespie. He's been fired.
Yeah. No, don't know. Matthew Hayden.
It's not Matthew Hayden. I think he had a coach.
He had to go a while.
Yeah, he did. It's Akib Javid, who's an interim head coach apparently.
Sure.
Yeah, Max is saying he's never heard of him. I hadn't heard of him either until I googled who's the Pakistan head coach. That's Pakistan. That's done. Let's go to January 2024. The score is 3-1 to Ross as we go to January. The year began with a bang thanks to an unlikely West Indian Test match win over Australia at the Gabba. Max, who was man of the hour for the West Indies in that match, and who did he dismiss last to wrap up that victory at the Gabba?
Well, it was Shamar Joseph. He took like 7 for 60 something. Who we got out last? I don't know exactly who that was. So I will just go with Alex Carey.
It wasn't Alex Carey. That's Stuart Broad the year before in the Ashes. Maybe
that must be what I was thinking. Yeah.
Your memory vision, yeah. I mean, I can see how you would confuse Shamar Joseph and Stuart Broads, to be fair. Ross, can you name the batter dismissed?
It's got to be one of the tail enders. So, who bats typically number 11? Stark or Hazelwood? I'm going to go Hazelwood.
Oh, he's got it. Max, you're 4-1 down. This is turning into.
I don't
hammering.
get points for Shamar Joseph then. Nothing for Shamar Joseph.
You had to get both.
Right.
Everyone knows that
Ross
Shamar Joseph.
how much of the question
did
Ross get right?
The batter.
How much of the question did Ross get right?
He got the whole question right. He
Right,
said Shamar
okay.
Joseph and Hazelwood, which were the two names. I didn't
Brilliant.
ask you. I didn't say for 1 point each. I didn't say if you get one of these two, you get the
that's
point.
fine. That's fine.
I said you needed. I'll read it again if you want.
I'm sure you'll contrive a way to even it up later on, so it's all good. When my victory becomes, impossible, we'll go.
There's
back.
a whole.
Let's not bring it.
A whole year to go.
So there's. I mean, I should have said this right at the beginning. Like, if you think someone's got a big lead early and you're listening, and you're thinking, "Oh, maybe I don't want to get to the end of this episode." There is carnage. I promise, in the final round, where I'm arbitrarily add and take away points to manufacture, I guess, a close finish. So it's 4-1 now. Ross, you're doing very well, but take it easy. Don't take it easy. Whatever. Let's move on. England headed to India to test Bazball in conditions they historically struggle in. They went 1-0 up thanks to Ollie Pope's heroics. Who were the top wicket takers for either team in the series, Ross? So I need both names here. Max, just for clarification for you there, both names, not just one name, not 1 point per name, both names.
Yep.
Shoaib Bashir for England. And would it be Bumrah or there's one of the spinners? I'll say Bumrah.
Max, he's not right. So you have a chance to drag back a point here if you can give me the two names.
Jadeja and Tom Hartley.
You got Tom Hartley. You both missed Ashwin, who was the top wicket taker for the series. 26 wickets. 26 for Ashwin, 22 for Hartley. And then there were some others. Max, you've got a true or false question here.
Okay.
Maybe drag back a point. Is it true or is it false that this series saw the most wickets to ever fall to spin in a test series? That's a bad question. I didn't read it properly. In a test series, is it true or false that this series had the most wickets fall to spin?
False.
That was true. That's another one wrong. You got every question wrong so far.
Yeah, it's not going well, is it?
Really not going well. And then you're on your honeymoon. You're on your honeymoon for October and November. So
I'm in trouble.
Later in the
I'm in big trouble. That's fine.
This is you really needed to be putting some points on here, Ross. You don't get a chance to steal because obviously
true.
Pretty easy. 129 wickets fell to spin in that series. I don't remember it being like that, but apparently it was.
That's because England were batting a lot.
I don't know what it's like for you, but I kind of like England cricket tours. My brain kind of like almost like washes over them a little bit, like kind of like assuming what happens with the chemicals when a woman gives birth. Like awful to live through it. Then you forget how it, and then I can't wait to watch England play Test cricket again. So,
I mean, it was a pretty good series. I think it was quite a good series. It stays 4-1. Ross is still 4-1 up. The series also broke records for the most sixes hit. This question's for you, Ross. How many? Actually, no, this question isn't for you. This question is for everyone. I've just coloured it in the wrong colour. I'm allowed to do what I like. Sixes were hit. Closest wins. Ross, you can go second. to make it a little bit easier for you and to even it out.
Okay.
How many
How
sixes
many
in the whole
sixes
series?
hit in the series? Yeah.
Okay. Let's go with 44.
44. Ross, what do you want to go with?
45.
It's good gameplay.
I'll accept that. I would accept. I'll accept that answer. It is excellent gameplay. What would you have guessed if Max hadn't guessed a fairly ludicrous 44 as his prediction for most sixes ever in a Test series?
Yeah, I reckon this pushing the kind of 70 mark. So I've probably got about 72, 73, something like that.
Yeah, I just realised that in trying to think of how many innings there were, I halved the number. So I would have probably ended up saying something like 90.
So there were, Ross, great guess. 72 is the
72.
is the correct answer. 26 by Jaiswal alone, who also broke the record for most sixes in a series. So that's 5-1 to Ross. He's really come with his A game.
Well, look, he needs this after
Max,
Spurs today, so it's fine.
what happened?
Well, we lose to
watch it.
we lost to the Ruud van Nistelrooy power train, didn't we? Leicester.
Oh wow!
They lost 7 games in a row. Dr. Hotspur comes to town.
Ross, we established in the last episode that I thought Tottenham Hotspur were called Tottenham Hotspurs for my whole life.
Really?
Yeah, I thought they were the Hotspurs.
To be fair, yesterday at the football, one of the people we were with thought everyone says Tottenham, don't they? They don't. This person said Tottenham. Like nobody ever says that, but yeah, there we go.
Tottenham.
Tottenham.
Last question of part 1. It's 5-1 to Ross. Max, you get to have one last chance to get off the mark. Actually, get one of the quiz questions right. In the second test, India fielded an extremely inexperienced batting lineup. True or false? Joe Root had more test runs as an individual than the entire India team. He's really thinking about this.
Yeah, really,
Pressure
really,
is on.
really thinking it.
Max,
Yeah.
quick, grab a coin.
We'll time
and just
out.
flip it.
Yeah, all right, fine. I'm going to go with false again.
Oh, it was true. Joe Root had about 1,000 runs more than the entire India batting lineup for that test.
Oh, I thought I thought it was going to be. It was true on caps, but not runs. But never mind.
I think in England had something like a 3.5 to 1 caps advantage.
Yeah,
for that match, which they obviously lost. It was one of the most inexperienced India teams relative to their opposition.
Can we start again?
Ever as they bounce back? We can't. 5-1 to Ross. We're going to take a little break, and then we'll come back and talk some IPL.
You're listening to the Cricket Podcast.
Welcome back, everyone, to the quiz of 2024 in cricket on the Cricket Podcast. The Max v Ross bilateral series. It's a shellacking so far. Ross is 5-1 up on Max, and he has the chance as we move into the IPL portion of the quiz to extend that lead. Ross, the IPL jumped the shark a little bit this year with a combination of aggressive batting, flatter pitches, and possibly some worse bowling, producing a succession of preposterous scores. Which team stunned the world with a record chase of 262 during this year's IPL?
Was it Sunrisers Hyderabad?
It wasn't. Oh, Max, you could come back into this. It could be 5-2. It wasn't at SRH. I mean, SRH did score a lot of runs, and maybe keep them in mind. You never know whether you'll need to know that later in the quiz. But it wasn't them who did the chasing. Max, who did the chasing? It wasn't KKR.
Was it
Max?
Was it
true to
Punjab?
form,
Punjab
got
Kings.
it wrong.
Punjab.
It was Punjab Kings. Yeah. KKR got 261 or 262. I think 260. They got like 260 something runs. I guess 261, but I'm not sure I wrote that down right. Batting first, they won. KKR won the tournament. They were the champions, but they were rocked by the Kings of Comedy, who chased it down with 8 balls to spare. 108 or 48 for Johnny Bairstow, who was the star of the show. Max, back to you. The score remains at 5-1. Punjab Kings would have had a chance of breaking the all-time record if they'd been able to use those 8 balls. Which team did break the record for top score in the IPL and then broke it again in 2024?
Well, was that one SRH?
It was. Rossi's got one right. We need some sort of victory celebration noise. Max, you have finally answered a question correctly.
Maybe I'll do like a game show. Let me wave some Japanese yen down the mic. Can you hear that, Max? That's your victory.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, mate.
We're all happy. We're all happy
Yeah.
and relieved as well, because it was frankly getting a little bit embarrassing.
It was,
But
for someone who's
we're moving in the right direction now. Yes. Ross, which spinner became the first player to take 200 IPL wickets during 2024?
What was that? Oh, are you enticing me with my love of Sunil Narine? Oh. Sod it. I'm going to go Sunil Narine.
You've fallen for the bait. I'm afraid it was not. It was not Sunil Narine. Max, you have a chance here to swoop in. Who has taken 200 IPL wickets?
Is it like something disgusting like Pierce Chawla?
Is that your real answer?
It's not allowed.
Is that
I've
your
said
real
it now,
answer?
haven't I?
He has said it. You got to take your first answer.
It wasn't.
Was it Baron Chakravarti?
This guy called
Ravi
It
Ashwin?
wasn't Baron Chakravarti. No. Why don't we just keep doing it? Keep going, boys. See whoever gets it first wins. Back to you, Ross.
It's like my brain is completely gone. Jadeja? Akshar
No.
Patel?
Max, back to you.
Kuldeep
You can't have
Yadav?
2 goes. Naughty. Max, you've got 3 guesses now.
Yuzi Chahal.
He's got it. A point for Max.
well
It's
done,
5-3.
Well
I thought that would be a lot more obvious than it turned out to be. It
Quite
wasn't.
a
I
lot
mean,
of
there were a
spinners
couple
at
of
the
other bowling
IPL.
highlights of the year. There are quite. Yeah, there's not very many with 200 wickets, though, are there?
No, just one.
Bumrah had a good year in the IPL. I don't know if you remember that. Trent Bolt took lots of wickets in the first over. He's got the record for most wickets in the first over now. 26 times he's done that in the IPL. So although there were loads of runs, it wasn't a complete wash for the bowlers. Max, it's 5-3, and you have the chance to really narrow the gap here.
Nice.
Kolkata Knight Riders ended up as champions. Sunrisers Hyderabad finished as runners-up. How many seasons in a row have Punjab Kings failed to make the playoffs?
Oh God. 6.
That's incorrect. Ross, can you get that one?
Have they ever made the playoffs? Is my immediate question in my head. I reckon I really can't remember. These are the ones I'm really bad with because I've got terrible memory. I'll go even worse than what Max said. I'll say 8.
It was 10.
Wow.
Not giving anyone a point for that.
Yeah.
So the IPL section ends with the score at 5-3. Ross, you failed
How are
to add to
Punjab
your
that
score.
bad?
Max,
How are
That's
they that bad?
incredible.
It's
I
insane.
don't know.
That's like 2/3
It's
of
one
the
of
IPL
Nathan's
ever.
It is pretty bad. I mean, you've got to remember as well, for quite a number of those years, half the teams made the playoffs.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not quite as simple as
Yeah.
that, but imagine tossing a coin 10 times and it came down tails 10 times. That's basically what Punjab have.
In a tournament that's designed so that you can, if things are going badly, you can kind of fix it a bit each year rather than being stuck with everything forever. It's good work.
Yeah. It's well, it's not good work. It's bad work, but it's
bad
good work for fun.
It's good content.
IPL ended. The IPL ended, and we went into the T20 World Cup. It's just what we were all crying out for. Was loads more T20 cricket played on dubious wickets with a number of massive differentials in ability to wade through, and one game per day. I thought it was a great way to introduce an entire nation to the sport.
Don't remind me. So painful.
I mainly remember the tournament, as I was sort of saying there. And Max, this is a really easy one for you. This is a really easy one. I pre-wrote these questions, so Ross, I'm sorry that this has happened to you, because it could have been you that got this one, but it's transpired that it's going to Max. I mainly remember the tournament for the turgid pitches and an Afghan player taking a dive at a crucial moment during a DLS chase. Who was the player who went down with the fake injury?
Oh, I think it might have been Gulbin Naive.
It was. Well done.
Hooray!
5-4.
Unbelievable.
Ross, you really
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I had a feeling that was going to be a question earlier anyway, so I did know before you brought it up, if that helps, Ross.
Yeah, well, to be fair, about so before we came on the podcast, I did go in and be like, right, what actually happened in 2024 in terms of funny moments? Dolben and I watched the video again. It is amazing. It's amazing.
The most notable upset in the comp, Ross, came when Pakistan played the USA in a match which went to a super over. Which Pakistan bowler conceded 18 in the super over, including bowling 17 wides? 7 wides, not 17 wides. 7 wides.
Wow.
Just 7 wides.
So in the super over?
Yes. Went to the super over. USA batted first. They got 18, enough to win. Which Pakistan bowler flubbed it?
Shaheen is the one I would pick if I was, but I can't remember. But Shaheen Afridi.
No.
Oh.
Max, back to you.
When it comes to some extreme comedy like that with Pakistan, it's usually Harris Ralph, isn't it?
Wasn't Harris Ralph? He actually, I think my recollection is that Harris Ralph was okay in that tournament, but maybe I completely misremembered that. Mohammed Amir is the name I was looking for. Came out of retirement to do that.
What's he doing bowling the super over? That's bizarre behaviour.
That's some money to win.
7 wide, not suspicious at all.
He lumped on USA.
Yeah. Needing just 27 to win off 4 overs, Max, with 6 wickets in hand, South Africa somehow conspired to lose in the final. Who was it who caught David Miller on the boundary to pretty much seal the deal for Team India?
Oh. I remember the catch because there was wasn't there a massive furore about whether it was actually out because he nearly trod on the boundary. I've got 2 names in my head, and I'm going to go with Hardik Pandya.
No, I think that was the bowler. Ross, do you know?
Yes.
Is it?
Would have been a great catch if he was bowling.
Just the other name in my head.
Yeah, it was Sky.
Yeah, they had the little indent, didn't they, on the where the Toblerones were.
Exactly.
Controversy.
Major controversy. Ross, you're 6-4 up, getting away again. In the women's T20 World Cup, question for you, Ross. South Africa repeated the trick, finishing runners up to New Zealand. Across the tournament, which Kiwi leg spinner averaged 7 and picked up 15 wickets?
Well, I don't think I know the Kiwi leg spinner. Pass.
Ooh. Pass. A rare pass. He's not even going to throw a name out there. Max, can you swoop in here?
All I know is that the top wicket taker of the tournament was Amelia Kerr. So Amelia Kerr.
You got it. That's all you needed to know was
Nicely
that piece
done,
of
mate.
information.
There you go.
6-5. It is now 6-5. We are going to move on to some Test cricket. As you said in your summary, Max, it was a little bit of a year of two halves, as many years are, with white ball cricket taking up a lot of the first half, and then things switching to red ball cricket with the denouement of the World Test Championship cycle. Max, Ben Stokes said he didn't care about the World Test Championship or didn't understand the World Test Championship. But where would his team have finished if they hadn't been deducted 22 points for bowling their overs too slowly?
Good question. I'm going to go 4th.
Incorrect. Close, but no cigar. Ross, where would England have finished if they'd bothered running around in the field?
Probably the only reason you're saying this is because they probably would have qualified if they would have done that. So, 2nd.
Nah, it was a completely pointless question. They would have finished 3rd. They would have just edged out India, but wouldn't have finished in the top 2. Ross, South Africa needed 1 win from their final 2 games against Pakistan to secure a place in the final. In true South African style, they looked like they were going to choke when 2 batters came together to get them over the line. Who were the 2 players who put on that crucial partnership?
That was Janssen and Rabada.
That's correct. It's now 7-5 to Ross. 7 points to Ross and 5 points to Max. Max, how many England players were named in the ICC Test Team of the Year?
3.
That is not right. Ross, do you know how many players were named in the ICC Team of the Year? And I'll give you a bonus point if you can name 3 of them.
I think it's 4. I think you've got Ben Duckett, Joe Root, Harry Brook, and somebody else.
Jamie Smith,
and
yeah, double points for Roth there. It's now 9-5. Probably shouldn't have given him that bonus point.
You shouldn't have given him the fact that it was 4. I forgot Ben Duckett. I had the other 3. I forgot Ben Duckett.
Do you know the best thing about this?
Slightly
Ben Duckett,
he's in the Team of the Year.
The best thing about this is that there was no South Africans named in it, which is just amazing.
No,
Yeah. What did Ben Duckett average?
Yeah,
in
England.
Test cricket this year? It can't have been that much, surely.
I think it was about 35.
He can't be in the Team of the Year.
Yeah,
That's insane.
Duckett, Root, Brook, and Smith made it in.
Yeah.
And there were 3 Indians, so England beat India as well: Jadeja, Jaiswal, and Bumrah. I don't remember Jadeja being that good, but apparently he was all right. Pat Cummins, the only Australian. Matt Henry, and I wanted to call him Kevin Williamson there, but that isn't his name. Kane Williamson. The 2 Kiwi representatives.
Pretty much for ages.
And Kamindu
He might
Mendes
have played like 3 Test matches.
Yeah.
for Sri Lanka. Boys, we're going to take a break, and then we're going to come back for the annual round of tenable, which Max will explain to the audience. So back in 5 or less, 2 seconds.
You're listening to the Cricket Podcast.
Welcome back, everyone, as we head towards the business end of the Cricket Podcast Quiz of 2024. We still have the tenable round. We've still got the Border-Gavaskar Trophy round. We've still got the Arunachal Pradesh round. And we still have the Wipeout round. So it's a chocked full last 20 minutes or so of the podcast. We're going to start with a round of tenable. Max, you starred in an episode of the Warwick Davis-led ITV show Tenable. Can you very briefly explain what you and Ross are about to try and accomplish?
Absolutely. Jack is going to give us a question, and there will be 10 answers to that question. And between us, we are going to have to fill out those 10 answers as best we can. How many lives do we get, Jack?
One.
It's one on the show
Each.
before, and then the second time you get it wrong, you're out. But I don't know if you want to go.
Yep.
Yeah.
1 or 2 if you're bad. How about that?
Good. Yeah.
The
doggy's life.
An unknown amount of lives. It's
Good.
The category you'll be trying to guess is most wickets in the World Test Championship cycle so far. So there's a couple of tests left to play, which messes with things a little bit. But that's as things stand here. Most wickets in the cycle. And it's 11able to dodge any potential legal infractions. But this is actually you've got to actually name 11 things, not 10.
Right.
Should have made that clearer earlier. Max, as you're behind, you get to go first. 1 point for a correct answer. No points for an incorrect answer. Off you go.
Bumrah.
Most wickets. Bumrah is number 1. So you're off the mark in fine style there. Ross, over to you.
Cum dog.
That's number 2 on the list. So that's good quizzing from the pair of you. Back to you, Max.
I guess Jadeja.
Let's have a look at the list. Yeah, Jadeja is in there at number 6. So that's 1, 2, and 6 of the top 11 wicket takers in the cycle. Ross.
Mitchell Stark.
Mitchell Stark is number 3. Ross going for the low,
The low-hanging
fruit or the high fruit? The low hanging fruit. But they're high up the list, so in a way they're the high hanging fruit. Depends on your perspective. If it was a raspberry bush, you would pick the high hanging fruit, wouldn't you? So there we go. Max, back to you. We've got 1, 2, 3, and 6.
Rabada.
Rabada, is he on the list? Let's take a look. I need a sound effect. I don't have one. He is not on the list. So, Max,
Wow, okay.
you've managed to lose a life early in the game. I suppose South Africa did miss that series. All the good South African players did miss a series, didn't they? So,
they did, didn't they? Yeah.
Yeah.
And they only played 2 match series.
Back.
Forgot about that.
I will go
Ross.
for Josh Hazelwood, sticking with my Australian theme.
Yep, that's number 5. So far, the 2 of you have got 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6. Ross has got 3 answers. Max, you have 2. But it is back to you. You can even things up.
All right, Ashwin.
That's the obvious choice there, number 5. So correct. And back to Ross. The tension is high.
I'm sticking with Australians. Gary Lyon.
Yeah, that will work for a reasonable amount of time, and then it will stop working. You're still.
I might be at that point now.
That tactic did work there. So that's your 4th consecutive correct answer. Lyon is number 8 on the list of most wickets in the World Test Championship cycle. Back to you, Max.
Well, I probably will not go with any more Australians. I reckon that might be done.
Scotty Boland, no?
I've only got one life left. This is bad. This is a bad place to be. How many more have we got to get?
You
Four.
have 1, 2, 3, 4 to go.
All right. Gus Atkinson. I know he's only had a year, but
He did have a good year.
it was a good year.
It's a good guess. 11 tests, 52 wickets. And he is just in between Jadeja and Lyon. So you've got everyone from 1 to 8 so far, boys. Ross, back to you. 9, 10, Jack to finish us off. And this is where it gets pretty difficult. I'd actually be a little bit surprised if you between the two you got any of these people. I'll give you an extra life each to keep the game going.
I said him earlier in the show, so I'm going to bring him up again because he did bowl an awful lot for England. So Shoaib Bashir.
That's a very good guess. He is the 11th man on the list with 49
Nice.
wickets.
Good work, Ross.
Max, 9 and 10. They've got 51 and 49 wickets each. So it's
Okay.
It's
Right.
that ballpark over the last couple of years.
Prabhath Jayasuriya.
That is an
Who's that?
excellent shout, Max.
Sri Lanka.
I know that he's a Sri Lankan. I guess by the name, but
Yeah.
he took 49 wickets.
49
I just
wickets.
remember him like he took tons against England, and then I remember he just kept taking more wickets for the rest of last year.
Fair play.
Yeah, I mean, like I wouldn't. The two at the bottom of this list averaged 36 and 40.
Yeah, like,
So-
they didn't necessarily do well, but they were like, Sri Lanka had a few home series as well, didn't they? So
They turned up, and I think that's the
Yeah.
important thing for those two.
That is.
They were when someone said, "Do you want to come and play Test cricket?" They said yes, and as a result of that, they have
This
both
guy got
picked
loads
up
of
49
wickets.
wickets.
yeah.
Ross,
Uh,
back to you. There's one more to get.
Matt Henry. He was in the team of the year. So Matt Henry.
It's not Matt Henry.
Hmm.
So that's
I
one
like-
life
that was
lost.
a good
Because you
shout, I
one
like
guess
that.
each left, and I will tell you that they are English.
Ooh. Chris Wokes.
Oh, he's got it. Unlucky, Ross. Didn't even get to make a guess. That means after the round of tenable, the scores are 14-11 to Ross.
The good thing about
That
tennis.
Jayasuriya
Jayasuriya
one
one
is
is
a
a brilliant,
good-
brilliant shout. That is a brilliant shout.
The good thing about the tennis is there's so many points in play that the 3-point deficit looks so much less bad than it did when I was 4-1 after like 3.
Yeah, it's a real stat padder, isn't it? The
Yeah.
round of tenable. Let's go to the Border-Gavaskar trophy to round out the year. Max, who was offended that they weren't allowed to present the trophy?
David Ward.
Oh, this is it. Look, I can deal with this. I can deal with
Totally
this.
totally missed this one.
That would be Sunil Gavaskar.
Oh, of course.
It was Sunil
Of
Gavaskar, yeah. Extremely disappointed that he wasn't allowed to present the trophy that already has his name on it. In my opinion, that's the definition of having your cake and eating it, isn't it?
I think we're into,
poor
we're into
guy.
honeymoon territory here. So
15-11. Ross, you're absolutely running rings around Max. Here's another Sonny G quote. If you're using technology, then use technology only. Wherever I am seeing, I always say that this is an optical illusion. Snicko is a straight line, so it's absolutely not out. According to me, this is not out. This is a wrong decision. Absolutely wrong decision. Otherwise, don't use technology. If you're going to go with optical illusion, then don't use technology at all. It's simple. What was Sonny G talking about there? Max, this could be an opportunity for you to steal back.
An LBW on Virat Kohli.
No, that's incorrect.
It
Max.
was the court behind where I think it was at Kumar Dharmasena didn't give it out, and they looked on Snicko and there was no line, but you could just see that the ball hit the glove and diverted, and it was
Yes.
and it
Oh,
was out.
Jaiswal. Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
that. now.
Jaiswal.
Yeah.
Yeah. What Sunny G's done there is he's confused slow-mo video footage with not technology.
And in fairness to Sonny G, like we did him a lot of stick, but he wasn't the only person in the planet who did that. Doesn't mean they're right. They're all idiots
Who
but
didn't
he's not
understand
the
that a
only
camera is technology.
idiot. It's technology. Yeah.
He is the only one that described a ball being hit in a different direction as an optical illusion.
As an optical illusion.
From what I can gather.
Some people started
An optical
suggesting even
illusion
like
is
quantum tunneling or something, didn't they, at one point?
I might try that in the cricket season. I might snick off to first slip, just be like, optical illusion, lads. Sorry.
Yeah. There was an auditory hallucination along with it as well.
15-12. Max, what is Steve Smith one short of?
10,000 test runs.
That's correct. Ross, this is rather unfair that you get that one. This question following the Steve Smith one. Why was Bumrah's score of 22 in the final test funny?
I think I do know this. It meant that he had more runs as captain than Rohit Sharma, or was it both? Yeah,
it's not quite that. It's close enough. So I'm going to give you the point.
It's a higher score.
It was the highest score,
wasn't it?
Yeah. So it's the lowest score ever by an Indian captain in a 5-match test series, and the second lowest ever after Bishan Bedi, who captained a 4-match series back in the 70s. But 22 was higher than anything Rohit Sharma managed across the series. So 16-13. There's a couple of questions left, and then the wipeout round.
Oh, no.
These are Arunachal Pradesh questions, starting with Ross. 16-13. Ross, in the Syed Mushtaq Ali Trophy, which is the Indian domestic T20 tournament, which is not the IPL, for people who don't know, how many times did Arunachal Pradesh score more than 100 runs in an innings?
How many games did they play?
7 matches. How many times did they collectively manage to score 100?
So out of 7 games, surely they did it 4 times.
No. Incorrect. Max, can you swoop in?
I had in my head 3, so I'm going to say 3.
That's also incorrect. The right answer was 0 times.
Who? 0. Oh my god.
Arunachal Pradesh.
What?
For 7 matches,
I know they're bad.
Failed to score 100 runs once. They lost all 7 games with a net run rate of minus 7.2. So I think that means they averaged. Their average defeat was 140 runs. Pretty good. Well, no, that's not pretty good. That's pretty bad. Max, your Arunachal Pradesh Trophy. In 2024, in the Ranji against Goa, they conceded 727 for 7 on their way to an innings and 551-run defeat. To the nearest 10, how many overs did it take Goa to score their 727 runs declared?
130.
No, that's incorrect. Ross, can you extend your lead to 14 points? 54
200, 230.
No. Goa scored 727 runs in 92 overs.
Wow,
An absolute.
it's amazing.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, this team. There's no video footage of this team play cricket. All these scores might be made up, but apparently they're a professional cricket team, or at least some of the players are actually professional cricketers.
We could get a game for them.
They turn up. They lost every. I think we'd beat them. I think we would beat. I can't see how they're this bad. They lost every single game they played in this year.
I don't think you'd want to play for them,
every
Ross.
single time. Astonishing. Right, boys. We've reached the end of the questions part of the quiz. Ross, it is 16-13, so in a sense you are the moral victor, whatever happens next.
And that's all that matters, right? We know
Next
that.
round of the quiz is going to work like this. There's quite a lot of bits I missed out of the year. I need you to come up with some highlights that I've missed because I was ill and I couldn't think properly.
Right.
If you say a good highlight, I will give you a point. If you say a highlight that I deem to be a bad highlight, I'm going to take away a point. And we'll just see what happens. That's
Okay.
that's the round. The wipeout round. Does everyone understand the rules?
Yeah, sure.
The whole premise is you couldn't be asked.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
Hiding behind the
That's
man
not
flu.
true. Come on. Right. Max.
Okay.
What's a highlight we missed off the quiz?
Well, Gus Atkinson
If you
on
say something
debut.
that was on the quiz, you lose 2 points.
Right. Gus Atkinson on debut at Lords. He took a fifer, took a tenfer, got his name on honours board. That was good stuff.
That should have been in the quiz.
He also,
1 point.
at other point in the year, he also hit a century and he also took a hat trick as well in the Test cricket in 2024. So yeah, he's got his name on all 3 honours boards at Lords. Good stuff.
Not in the team of the year, though.
Not in the team of the year. No. Why? Why would you do that?
Ross, what was a highlight missed out from the quiz?
Constus ramping Bumrah and then getting into a bit of a tussle with Kohli. That was excellent.
That's good.
Yeah, that was top stuff. That is a point. That should have been in the quiz. Max.
Harry Brook, 317 against Pakistan. That was quite something.
That was quite something. One of the more preposterous innings you'll ever see, I think. Harry Brook made them look like Arunachal Pradesh, didn't he? In that one. Ross, highlights. Give me some highlights.
England women crashing out of the T20 World Cup, and then Alex Hartley saying it's because they're all fat and unfit.
Still rumbling on
there.
I'm not sure that's a highlight.
Oh.
That is going down as a -1. So the gap has narrowed. Max, you're up to 15. Ross
Right,
is now
here we go.
on 16 points.
Here
we go. Well, Max, what can you give me?
I don't think there was a question about the fact that India were whitewashed at home by New Zealand to end their 14, 15-year home series record.
That's definitely something that should have been talked about, and I agree. That was a massive highlight.
This quiz suddenly, is too long, you have to choose your moments.
It's suddenly 16 points all. Ross, you can if you want to tap out at any point. You can say, "I've got no more highlights."
Incredible stuff.
Okay. This is quite. So it has to be.
I told you this was going to be good.
Yeah, professional cricket. Because one of my best moments in cricket last year was I Don't Like Cricket Club winning the league. So that was technically cricket, technically a big highlight for me.
I'll give you a point for that. Yeah, winning an amateur cricket league, that counts as a point, especially when I'm the captain. Max,
I thought playing up to the ego.
Until that bit, Ross, I was actually on board with that as getting a point, and then it was reminded.
You've got to remember. You've got to remember who the You've got to remember who the quizmaster is. It's important. Max,
Yeah.
can you keep coming up with highlights? Ross has gone back into the lead. It's 17-16.
Yeah, struggling now. I would like to offer up. I mean, obviously, it was in the same series as Harry Brook, but Harry Brook's 317 obviously was the catalyst of the aforementioned fans over the pitch, which ultimately led to Sajid Khan and Noman Ali taking 40 wickets between them against England in a test match, bowling uninterrupted for like 89, 90 overs.
I can't help but give you a point for that. And then they dropped him for the next match. just beat Pakistan, really. 17-all. Ross, you're under pressure here. Can you come up with another highlight from 2024?
I think it's a low light, so I'm kind of wondering there, but I'm going to say it anyway because it's funny. England getting increasingly pissed off, and Ben Stokes coming out and saying, "We really do know what we're doing when it comes to this selection arc." And then they pick Josh Hull to play against Sri Lanka because he's enormous
and lost.
Ooh, that's a difficult one. Max, do you think that's worth a point?
I don't know.
Well, I don't know. I'm asking you. This is the quiz has gone off piste.
Well, obviously, Jack, I don't think it's good enough.
Okay, that's -1. So Max, you're suddenly in the lead.
I didn't think it was worth -1 though. That was
there's only two ways. It's the wipeout round.
Right.
It's the wipeout round.
I see. Oh, right. And then if you just pass, you just stick, do you, with what you've got? Is that the idea?
Yeah. So it's 17-16. Do you think Ross can come up with one more highlight to bring it level, or are you going to gamble?
I mean, it's possible, isn't it? I'm just trying to think if
this is real jeopardy. I should have done the whole quiz. Should have just been this.
Yeah. The return of Rishabh Pant.
Yes, that's an easy one. That's I think definitely Rishabh Pant. He came back in style across all formats. Won a trophy. Did some other stuff. Played for Delhi.
Ended up the most expensive IPL player in history.
Yeah, it all happened. Ross, you're 2 points behind now. Have you got any more highlights?
We like a lot of people being absolutely dreadful, don't we? I think on this podcast, and I think it was Mohit who went for the most runs ever in a 4-over spell in the IPL. I think it was like 70 runs. That was pretty special.
Yeah, that's definitely a point. That was nearly in the quiz, so that's you get a point there. It's now 18-17. Max, are you going to stick or twist?
Oh, we're getting close now. I feel like I've been dealt 16 in blackjack, and I know the dealer's got a hit. But I'm not happy with where I am. It's difficult. I'm trying to think what else happened. Yeah,
I don't think I'm too long because
I'm running out of ideas, and in the interest of time, I'm gonna stick. I'm gonna throw over to Ross.
Ross, you got one chance. Well, I mean, you can keep going for as long as you want, really. But I'm going to give you, if you get another -1, I'm calling it. I'm.
There's no way you're giving this there's no way you're giving this -1.
How about
no way?
How about Ross goes for one more, and if he gets it, he wins because he won the original quiz anyway. That's the tiebreaker.
You don't make the rules here. He's got to get two highlights. He's got to get two clear highlights. Win.
Don't say I didn't try and be fair, Ross.
Okay.
What one is definitely a highlight is the redemption arc of Mohammed Shami's hair.
Oh, that's an easy point. That is an easy point. He barely played a game of cricket all year, Mohammed Shami, but I'm fascinated.
Because he was busy getting his hair transplant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's been in Turkey the whole 6 months. Ross, this is to win it.
Yeah, this is. See, the thing is, I like the negative stuff just as much as I like the positive stuff, which is not really
Well, if
what
it's
we're
a
aiming
good
for.
negative,
That
it's
can still
fine,
be a
but,
that can
like,
still be
if-
a highlight. I think.
Yeah.
I think Jack was more like if he doesn't think it's that good. You lose the
Mm.
point.
Yeah, that's what
I
it is.
I did, in a roundabout way. I did find it interesting how England decided to retire their best ever bowler, who was
Ah,
still
yeah.
actually really quite fit and probably could have done quite a decent job. But yeah, so Jimmy Anderson being forcibly retired when he probably didn't need to be, in the aim of blooding the youth academy.
Yeah, that was down
Uh,
as one of the highlights that I thought probably should have been mentioned. So, Ross, you've
Yeah.
grabbed victory from the jaws of defeat there with a string of excellent highlights. Well played in the last round to Max 2. The final scores in the quiz are 18 points to Max, but 19 points to Ross, who reclaims his crown as a cricket quiz champion. The other thing I thought maybe someone should have mentioned was Aidan Markram's century when he got 108 of 170 odd runs.
Oh,
Which
in the
was
India series, yeah,
good.
that did cross my mind.
Yeah, that was really good.
Hmm.
Other than that, I think we've summarised cricket. Well done, boys. Any final words, Ross, as the champion?
No, it's nice to have a great quiz. Have a great quiz. Can't beat it. So Max, a valiant effort, and a real highlight for all of our listeners, no doubt.
A worthy winner, Ross. Well done. Good quizzing.
And let's be
Matt-
Jack. Well done for all the questions. Very difficult for
in
you.
your state as well. Well done for plowing through and putting it together. Another enjoyable edition of Cricket Podcast Quiz of the Year, which gets more and more esoteric every time we do it.
Good. We'll be back with some actual cricket stuff. Obviously, England are playing T20 series against India. They lost yesterday. It was actually a pretty good game. So, yeah, if you're tuning into this expecting us to have talked about that, well,
Maybe next time.
you don't always get what you want. Yeah, maybe next time. At some point this week, we'll get a show out about that. And then we need to do some Champions Trophy preview stuff.
Oh, God,
There's some squads that are out there.
There's some proper
And
cricket
there's some
happening.
news that is out there. I don't even remember the last Champions Trophy, to be honest. Is it important? Does anyone care? Maybe. We'll find out. Bye-bye.